Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Still a freak, I never went straight. I kept my appointment with fate. I like every human being that was ever born. I'm unique. Things disappear, but I'm still here. I'm still a freak. Still ahead, and I'm doing fine. I can hear your voice in my mind. You ain't singing my praises right now, honey. You can do it when I'm dead. I'm no quitter, and I'm not bitter. I'm still ahead. Still awake, I've known all along. If you ain't crazy, there's something wrong. There's no such thing as a coincidence or a mistake. And all this confusion is just illusion. I'm still awake. Still a freak, I ain't been gagged. I'm still flying the flag. The game's moving so fast, who knows where it's gonna be this time next week. Empires rise and fall, but through it all, I'm still a freak, still a freak. Still a freak.
The Waterboys live on KEXP. We are so excited to have all of you here. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure.
I've been waiting 20 years to have you on my show, but of course you've been making music much longer than that. And
not that much. I'm still only 24.
It's so crazy that I bought your first album 30 years ago.
Wow. Thanks for buying it. You're one of the 64 people in America who bought that record.
Well, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Well, not. I would rather you sold more, but that's not true. I know it.
I know.
They're still buying them.
Yeah.
And you're still making new music. That was a new song.
That's called Still a Freak, Cheryl. Yeah, it's going to be on our next record.
That's crazy. You would think you would run out of songs by now. You just still keep thinking of things to write about. That one was cute, though, writing about yourself.
Thank you very much. Yeah, an autobiographical number.
Introduce this wonderful band you have here, because you all sound great, and I know you've got the greatest rock and roll fiddle player in the world with you today.
Yeah, that's from gentleman from Dublin, Ireland, Mr. Steve Wickham. On keyboards, we have Daniel Mintz-Serres. Lead guitar, Jay Barclay. Drums, Chris Bonelli. And on bass guitar and the smattering of backing vocals is Malcolm Gold.
Well, you sound fantastic. And you're playing at the Neptune Theater here in Seattle tonight, which is a wonderful venue. And you've got a lot of U.S. shows.
It's our biggest American tour ever.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. We're so happy to have you over here. And, I mean, you have such a long career, you've done so many things. I don't even know when you sleep. I know you wrote a book recently, The Adventures of a Waterboy, and I imagine you've got millions of stories to tell, but how was it that you finally were able to put pen to paper? And
Well, you know, the last time we played in Seattle was in 2007. It was part of a big world tour. And after that tour finished, I knew I was going to have about 18 months off the road. And that was my big opportunity to write a book, something I'd planned doing maybe for 10, 15 years. So I just knuckled down and I took it very seriously, Cheryl. I would get up every morning at 5:30, work for 6 hours. You know, it wasn't something, I didn't dabble in book writing. I didn't just do it after my tea. I was very dedicated, very disciplined. It's the only way to do it.
that's great. I love it. It's great to finally read some of the great stories, because you've had quite a life.
Thanks, yeah. I'm still having it.
I can tell. It's great to see it. And you actually don't look a day over 24. I don't know how you fit all that in. And speaking of being such a busy person, you are releasing soon a box set for Fisherman's Blues.
Yes.
And I actually haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, and I'm really excited. I know it's 7 discs.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that, because that had to be a huge undertaking.
Well, you know, Fisherman's Blues, we made Fisherman's Blues between 1986 and 88. It's probably our best known album, and there are, I think, 11 tracks on the record, but in fact we recorded over 100 tracks, and at last the box set will tell the whole story. 121 tracks over 7, well, there's 6 CDs of our music, and the 7th CD is a sort of bonus of songs that influenced us by people like Hank Williams and Woody Guthrie.
And that's coming out actually in a couple of weeks.
21st of October.
But that sounds like a mammoth undertaking. You wrote quite a bit, I've heard, to go along with that as a companion piece as well.
Well, I did the track-by-track sleeve notes, yeah. The whole thing took many months of editing and refining.
And I read somewhere that Colin Malloy contributed to that, of the Decemberists. Obviously, they're very influenced by your music.
Well, Colin Malloy very kindly gave me the title, Fisherman's Box. And he also went through all the tracks and gave me feedback on them. And he wrote an introduction that's included in the booklet.
I can't wait to get a copy. That's great. And listen and read it. That'll be like my next few months of entertainment to get through all of that.
Yeah.
Can you play another song?
We can indeed. We're going to play you one of our Yeatsian interpretations called Mad as Mist and Snow. I hope you don't get silence on the radio, because I know that's death on the radio, but I have to take my headphones off so I can put my guitar on.
Okay.
Can you fill in for me?
I certainly can. I'm a professional. We have the Waterboys live in studio here at KEXP. Tonight they play at the Neptune Theater in Seattle.
Bolt and bar the shutters, for the foul winds blow. Our minds are at their best this night, and I seem to know that everything outside us is mad as the mist and snow. That everything outside us is mad as the mist and snow. Horace by Homer stands, Plato stands below. And here's Tully's open page, how many years ago? Were you and I lads, mad as the mist and snow? Were you and I lads, mad as the mist and snow? Hey, hey, hey! makes me sigh? What makes me shudder so? I shudder and I sigh to think that even Cicero and many-minded Homer were mad as the mist and snow. That Cicero and Homer were mad as the mist and snow. That Cicero and Homer were mad as the mist and snow. That Cicero and Homer were mad as the mist and snow. Mad as the mist and snow. Mad as the mist and snow. And snow. Mad as the mist and snow. Mad as the mist and snow. Mad as the mist and snow.
The Waterboys live on KEXP, Mad as the Mist and Snow, from the album An Appointment with Mr. Yeats. And Mike, that came out in 2011, but 25 years ago, you had a song on Fisherman's Blue, A Stolen Child. It was also a Yeats poem. So I think it's fair to say you've had a maybe lifelong obsession, or passion anyway, for Yeats. And you put now a whole album of his poems to music.
Do you know, Cheryl, my mum was and is an English literature college professor, and she brought me up to revere Yeats. She used to utter his name in hushed tones around the house. So I grew up knowing who W.B. Yeats was, that he was the great Irish poet. And later, when I finally came to read his poems deeply for myself as a young man, I realized that a lot of them sat on the page like song lyrics. They lent themselves to musical accompaniment. And so I've spent a lot of time turning his poems into songs. I've done about 36 of them. There are 14 on the Appointment with Mr. Yeats album, of which the one we just played is one.
How do you approach even putting a poem to music? Because you say that they lend themselves to music, but, you know, poets don't necessarily write with music in mind as song lyricists do. And do the different poems just kind of speak to you? Because there's a lot of range on that album.
Well, do you know, a lot of Yeats's poems rhyme and scan very precisely, and that's a gift for the melodicist who comes to work with them. And some of them were easier than others. Sometimes I would merge 2 or even 3 poems to make one song. But it was a labour of love. It was a really beautiful experience doing it.
It feels like a labour of love.
Thank you.
You do so many different things. It's like your life must never get bored. You're like, what can I do next now?
Well, may we never have another boring moment in our lives.
Absolutely. I can hardly wait to see what you do next. But I hope a song is next.
Well, we're going to play a Waterboys oldie from the early 90s. This is Glastonbury Song. myself from the sultry plains, the old green square back in old Maple. Rode the wind up the storm away, paused at the peak, pacified my soul. Caught the bus in the ferry port, I made it to the mansion on the buoyancy. I come around to the ancient ways, I took a tip from the Buddha boy. I just found God, yeah, just found God. Yeah, just found God for all it was. We came down from a hell of dreams, burning out Mother Earth and you and me. Through Carver Road down the Wildwood side, blinding our eyes in the shallow seas. Drank fire with the king of the blues, plugged into the medicine way. Took a long lost look at the crazy horse. Push now for a golden age. I just found God. Just found God. Yeah, just found God, bring all it was. I found myself on the roof of the world, just waiting for to get my wings. Strange angel in a changing land said, brother, you forgot one thing. My heart beat from the inside out. So lucky just to be alive. Can you tell what I'm talking about? Any day now the sun's gonna rise. I just found God. Yeah, just found God. Yeah, just found God for all it was. Hey, just found God for all it was. There is a green hill far away, I'm going back there one fine day. There is a green hill far away, I'm going back there one fine day. There is a green hill far away, I'm going back there one fine day. There is a green hill far away, I'm going back there one fine day. One fine day. One fine day. One fine
Well done. That was wonderful. The Waterboys live on KEXP. Tonight they play at the Neptune Theater here in Seattle, and if you're smart, that's where you'll be. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Please come back when you have your new album
Sure
as well.
thing.
We'd love to have you again. You've got it tuned to KEXP Seattle.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?